Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike. This is going to be a review on comics that were released on for Free Comic Book Day this past Saturday, August 14th, 2021. I'm going to get right into it. First up, we got Dynamite with Vampirella, a little side story. I have one other Vampirella comic, and this one, and that's it. I have not read the other one because it was like number 18 or 16. It was a cover by. Um, I've always kind of wanted to read Vampirella, but she's been around forever, and I haven't really started buying trade paperbacks. If you know, if you've been watching my channel, you kind of know why. I'm not a big fan of trade paperbacks, so this was the first for me, and honestly, I almost didn't read it. I mean, I do love the it's an Alex Ross cover. I do like Alex Ross. I love the way Vampirella looks. I love vampires, so that's kind of the reason I've always wanted to read her. Um, but it was actually really good, and the art was amazing. I wouldn't say it was like the best comic I've ever read, but for me, being a being the first Vampirella comic I've ever read, it was actually really, really good. It just starts out with a plane wreck, and it's set up where you're, reading panels, and basically is a therapy session between Vampirella and a therapist, and it kind of goes through and it shows you a bunch of it's a plane wreck and a train wreck, and it all happened from the the plane wreck. I mean, and it shows some other stuff that got damaged along the way because it shows the train and the plane, and there's also like a bus that went down and some other stuff. But they kind of get to this page, and they show this guy, and he's walking over, and he's decapitated, and he walks over and he picks up his head and he puts it on. He kind of waves over at the girl. There's also like a little rat. I don't know why, but there's a little rat that kind of tries to talk to the girl, and the girl acts like she didn't hear. And we kind of get our first look at Vampirella here at the plane crash. And the whole rest of the book is set up like, explaining how the plane went down, how the whole accident went down, and it's set up in the style, and that she's talking to her therapist, and she is set up under another alias. She's going by something, and it's not Vampirella, of course. It's another name, a human sounding name. Excuse me. Um, But they show right here, and this is the therapist at the bottom, and they kind of get into it where she's like, yeah, well, I was in this plane, I could smell something, and she, tells about this guy. His name was like Von something or other, Von Koken, no, I don't, but Von something. But he is a bounty hunter or something that is after Vampirella, and she kind of explains that it's Von Christ, but is his name Von Christ, but she explains that he's after her for some reason, and that on top of that he can't die, that he's been cursed by the devil, and so and in part of that curse, that it kind of the deal with the devil that came with the snag, that he slowly decomposes. So they show him here like before and he was kind of like chilling in the airplane bathroom, and she finds him. She can smell him, is what she states to the psychiatrist. There's a lot of back and forth funny banter with the psychiatrist and Vampirella, because like she's trying to recreate the story, and the Von Christ character only spoke German, so she's trying to actually speak the German back to the psychiatrist, and it comes out all wrong. Like every time she says the German stuff, it's something, it's completely mistranslated. So you don't ever get to hear what Von Christ is actually saying to Vampirella, because it's through this translated meme that is going on throughout the out the book. But it does show that that there is like a huge showdown. That basically, I mean, she takes out this Von Christ and basically kicks him out of the plane. And when in doing so, the plane ends up going down. He ends up like getting decapitated, which I think they show like right here on the panel right here, maybe by coincidence, but they show her like falling and changing and then her growing bat wings, which I didn't wasn't aware that she had the bat wings, so I thought that was really cool. And you have like a nice her flying after she takes off after the plane. They basically go back to what was the whole cause and stuff like that with the psychiatrist trying to figure out what was going on. They do show that same rat, that it was basically a demon, that it was like a friend of Vampirella, but they show up as a spider, but he's been following Vampirella, and it's funny because the psychiatrist like kills the spider, and she's like, well, it doesn't matter how many times you kill him, he just comes back as something else. And at the end of the whole psychiatry thing, basically her mother shows up to talk to Vampirella, and that's the end of the the preview to this story. And basically it's sold now in a trade paperback. I think the original issues came out a while back, maybe like 2015 or something like that. And they do show you that the trade paperback is for sale, and which I would actually be interested in looking for, but they show it like right here. It's called Seduction of the Innocent was this story, and I think it was a five book issue series. Next up we got Batman, Robin, and Howard, and this is a double issue, and it was Amethyst on the back. We're going to do real quick Batman. I mean, this is not a long story by far. It is a very young reader story, and it is just Damian and as Robin and Batman, and they're out on the town. Batman issues some commands, and Robin doesn't really follow him, and he kind of makes a boo-boo. He thinks he sees some robbers trying to break into a car, and they're not. They got their keys locked out of the car, and they were trying to get back in the car. Batman helps him out, and kind of, he doesn't punish Robin, not like you think, but it's more like a scolding, and hey, you gotta get ready for school, that kind of thing. You're not gonna be allowed to patrol. They go into then we meet Howard the day at school that Robert is showing up, and Howard is basically this really nice kid. He's the opposite of what most other kids are doing. Other kids are ready to go to read, and he's into recess and that kind of thing, and he's ready to read. He's he loves pop quizzes, and he's actually really smart. And they kind of show Robin, and he shows up, and all the other kids are already kind of like poking fun at him, and because he's rich, and Howard's like, man, he's gonna be my new best friend. And they show him there, and then they show you that this is it's gonna be an original graphic novel that's coming out in November. And so if you're interested in Batman and Robin and Howard, to be look out in November. It was actually a really good read for a young reader read. On the back page we have Amethyst, and this will also be a graphic novel that will be coming out. This was a phenomenal read. The art was amazing, and it's just following Amethyst back on Gym World. It kind of goes into her and her brother, and they show like the gym that they actually like protect with the royal family, and they kind of go into like how it's magically sealed and protected. You have to be like royal blood to get in there. Her brother and sister do sneak in there, and the brother, for some reason, I don't know why, but he grabs this crazy looking dagger and he tries stabbing the gym. It almost looked like it hurt the gym. I thought it was gonna, like, he killed it or something. He was gonna turn into this villain, but it didn't go like that. It was more, like somehow the parents are able to stop them before it went any further or something like that. They got scolded, and basically, since Amethyst was the older of the siblings, she kind of took the blunt of the troubleness. So she's being sent to Earth to kind of learn, more civility and respect and stuff like that. And they kind of show her in her pouty princess, but they do show her that her brother gives her her sword, his sword to her, that so at least because he won't be going with her, but so he can have the sword with her. So she steps through the portal, and when she steps through, it turns into like a small pendant that she eventually wears around her neck. They do show that this is a one of the family, like, let's just say babysitters that's with her. It's a royal guard, but she is being tasked to stay with Amethyst while she is here on Earth. And they show that they rent a house instantly. Like, there's kind of like bullies that are already picking on Amethyst because she's like the new girl. And they just go into like the first day of school, and she's not really having that great a day at school to begin with. And that's the end of the little preview on that one. It was really good. The art was really amazing. It was one of the books that I was looking forward to. I love, she's one of the characters I've kind of been really big into lately. Next up, we got Viz Comics. This is Star Wars The High Republic, The Edge of Balance. For me, this is the first High Republic book that I've read. I didn't go spec hard, or, I'm not into it for the money. I'm into it for the stories, and there was something about it that just didn't speak to me in that way. But I will pick up. I do love Star Wars, and so it's a free comic book. I do dig the fact that it's an anime style Star Wars. That's kind of one of the reasons I went for it. But they kind of set up this whole situation on Takala, where they do show this, like a extinction level event, kind of happens on this planet. They do show like Jedi and some other Jedi that show up to try and save the civilians and citizens that are there. It is this master, Gaius Stalin, that is the Jedi that shows up and tries to save a lot of the civilian people that are on this planet as this situation occurs. But it looks like he is not able to save everybody. I was kind of unsure on what happened, because they kind of show the scene with all the houses and stuff, and it just looks like everything kind of explodes after that. He does send out, like, I guess, a force message, because in this panel here, it's like this girl is hearing this "help me," kind of motif, and we kind of meet these two. It's a Wookiee and a girl. And they are both Jedi. The Wookiee is Master Arkoff, and you'll have to give me a second so I can find her name. I'm bad with names. We're not getting into that right now, but we meet her and Master Arkoff, and it's just basically them having this conversation about how they're gonna go to this planet, and they're supposed to be helping out these people, like. And it seems to be some of the survivors from that planet. Now they're being relocated to another planet, and that's kind of what she and this master is tasked with. And it's kind of like their conversation back and forth about how it's going to go down, and the events that happened before that. And that's kind of basically it. She kind of, she does show you that she goes down and she meets some of these other, survivors that she is transporting to this planet. They do go into one of the other survivors that is holding, like, with passion, this container. And he says that his seeds and stuff that he brought from that planet, that he's going to sprout on the new planet. And they just kind of, and her name is Lily. But they do show that Master Arkoff and Lily, they get to this planet, and that's kind of where this one leads off. The rest of the book was the Guardians of the Willis, and I did not read this one. I wasn't too interested in this one. It's not to say that I'm not going to read it. I just didn't read it currently. So if you're interested in that, you have to check out Guardians of the Willis. It is a trade paperback that is coming out. Last but not least, but this is Batman from DC Comics Special Edition #1. It is get your first look at Batman Fear State and I Am Batman. Um, I'll note two things at the end of this review about this comic specifically. And if you look at the cover, there is one clue right there. Okay, so the basically is like the first part, the Fear State, is basically kind of catching you up to who Saint Industries is, and its tie into Gotham, how he was a Gotham, citizen to begin with, and growing up in Gotham and seeing the mob and how the underground crime was ruling Gotham, and then came Batman and he weeded that out. But then with Batman came all the supervillains, and now it's just in this constant war. So Saint Industries is trying to start the whole magistrate program to fix what Batman could not. They also go directly into the current issue of Batman, where Batman was just infected by a Scarecrow. So I'm not sure what issue it was. It might be Batman 111. But this currently just happened, like the last panel, and this goes right into this. And Batman is suffering from this new fear because basically it is in his brain. He can see these visions. He can't control his eyes. He doesn't even know what's reality anymore, because now Scarecrow has figured out how to mix the gas with lights, and kind of like he has this whole Mysterio thing going, where he creates this whole picture of fear for you. They go back into the whole magistrate and Simon Saints and him developing the Peacekeeper program. While this is going on, Batman being infected with that stuff, the new Scarecrow drug, let's just say, Batman is trying to make it back to the Batmobile and escape from being infected from Scarecrow. He does make it back to the Batmobile, and the whole time he is questioning what is going on, what he is seeing. Is he even in the Batmobile, or is he still back with Scarecrow? They even show you that right here, Scarecrow emerges from in front of them, and he is trying to attack Batman. His needles are coming through the glass to get him, and they basically just show that Batman kind of like is able to shake it off, and eventually he does take some medicine, kind of falls asleep and wakes up and is a little better and drives off, and that's kind of where they lead us at that point. And it says to be continued in Batman 112, so I was right about the Batman 111. They do show some character designs, and the only one that I don't recognize is this one right here, and he is called Wise, W-Y-Z-E, and he is right here with the cane and the black and the red. We have already seen the designer, the gardener, I'm sorry, not the designer, the gardener and Miracle Molly. And then they show us Peacekeeper, and this is supposed to be Queen Ivy, I'm sorry. Peacekeeper 1 and Queen Ivy. And in Batman comics, we have not seen Queen Ivy. They have mentioned her. That's why the gardener showed up, trying to plead to Harley to help out Ivy, because she's been doing something weird with Swamp Thing. I am not currently reading Swamp Thing. I know she is kind of one of the main characters, and there is this kind of Poison Ivy thing that's going on in the Swamp Thing book. But that was basically where we leave it right here. When next up, they kind of go into what Fear State's going to be, and kind of catching you up. Some of the neat little covers that are going to come out for the Fear State event. The last part of the book is a very it's like a small preview to the I Am Batman book. If you are interested in hearing that review, I've already reviewed the I Am Batman #0. It is under the my reviews for I think it was August 4th, 2021. I don't know, but that's my reviews to these 5 comic books. Oh, I was going to tell you 2 bad things that I didn't like about this book. One, okay, I am a Batman reader. I am reading Batman series. and I love Batman, currency. Of course, I'm a Batman fan, but let's just per se say that for some reason I missed this hot book that came out. Right, this was a main part of the story. It wasn't like a preview. It wasn't. I mean, this directly continued out of book 111. And I mean, it was literally like the last page, and then this started and continued where they left off. There wasn't a lot of story in this, but it was still, I mean, um, so I mean, I kind of feel bad for people that might have missed this that do read Batman. Another thing that I will point out that I thought was kind of weird, out of all the books that I did pick up on Free Comic Book Day, this is the only one that has a barcode where these stamps are supposed to go, like these store stamps should go here. And I thought that was weird for a free comic book to have the barcode. Maybe for a key collector or something like that. I don't know. Not a negative note, but I just thought that was weird. I did not like that yes, it is a free comic book, and I get it, it's free. But at the same time, I know there was a bunch of issues. I heard a bunch of stories about people, I mean, of course, that there were places on lockdown that couldn't get free comic book day, and there was also like, some stores that were selling the free comic books, and I've heard all kind of different things. Here I did not see any of those type of things. Free comic book day was in abundance. There was a lot of people out. It was fun. There was kids out. There was grown-ups, and there was a lot of books. There was a 5-book limit at the LCSs that I went to. I ended up getting everything that I wanted, but I had to do multiple trips. I didn't do any costumes. I thought about it, but yeah, that's my reviews. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, the whole mama jama. But I got some more reading to do. We got new comic book day coming up. A lot of books coming out. I will see you soon.